I'm going to give you the 12 most common sales objections and show you how you can use my Viper framework to overcome them. Nice and simple. The Viper framework is a 5-step sequential formula you can use to overcome like 99% of your objections. Validate, isolate, permission, expand, return. 5 stages, Viper. Let's jump in.
Really want to do it. I just need to speak to my husband first.
Makes sense. You need your husband on board for a big decision. I'd do the same with my wife. Hypothetically, let's say your husband backs you on this 110%. Is there anything else that might stop you pushing the button and going ahead?
No, I'm all in.
Well, in that case, let me ask you something. So you mentioned that your husband's like super supportive and that's brilliant. But let's say for whatever reason, he just says no. What are you going to do then?
I'd do it anyway. It's my business.
Exactly. Your husband's not the business owner. You are. You know, asking for support is very different to seeking permission. So on that basis, should we just get you started?
Yeah, go on then. Let's do it.
It sounds good, but I just don't have the time right now.
I love it when people say this. You know, it's valid. Time's the most precious thing that we've got. But let's assume, or let's pretend you had a completely clear calendar. Would that make it a no-brainer for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So can I float something past you? Do you ever think that you'll not be busy? Like, you know what it's like when you're a business owner, there's always so much to do. There's loads of things on the to-do list. So now is probably the best time to pull the trigger on this because you get support when you need it the most, which is obviously when you're busy. And the first thing that we do is eliminate those time zapping tasks on the calendar too, which is going to save you, I don't know, 10 hours a week, let's say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So with that in mind, it makes sense to get started ASAP so we can start saving you that time, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I do want to do it, but I just need to wait until I've got a couple more clients in the door.
Got you. Okay. There's never a perfect time for this kind of thing, but let's pretend you've already won that client. You'd be on board straight away, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Can I tell you something funny? Because my wife was telling me last week how she wants to join a gym, but she said she wants to get a bit healthier first. And I agreed. But then I waited for a second and I said, do you know how crazy that sounds? You're going to wait to be fit before you go. Surely you go to get fit. We were both laughing. And it sounds, in all seriousness, like that might be the case here. Does it feel like that to you? Like a bit like the chicken and egg scenario?
Oh yeah, it's definitely chicken and egg.
There's no perfect time. So keeping the end goal in mind, would you not agree, you know, it makes sense to make a start now and get there faster rather than just delaying it and trying to work all this out on your own?
Yeah, it will help to speed things up.
It sounds good, but it's just not a priority right now.
Okay. I can see why the other things that you mentioned probably seem more important, but hypothetically speaking, let's just say we've already ticked them off. Would moving forward now be an option?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Can I plant a thought in your head then? You know, it might not seem like it, but not addressing this now is probably going to have some negative consequences. You know, you mentioned the problem that you've got. What's it going to look like in 5 years' time if that's completely unaddressed? How much money are you going to lose?
Probably thousands.
Exactly. And that sounds pretty bad. And in the nicest way possible, it sounds like some of these other priorities you mentioned might not have as much of an impact as this will do later down the line. So this seems like the real priority to address right now. Yeah?
Yeah, you're right.
It sounds really good, but it's too expensive.
Yeah, you know, I agree. It's not cheap. I mean, if it was only £20, if it was nice and cheap, you'd probably be skeptical. You probably wouldn't even believe it worked, would you?
No, probably not.
So let me ask you this then. If it was more affordable, or if you could explicitly guarantee results, would that make it a no-brainer for you?
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course it would. So let me run something by you quickly. Let's fast forward 6 months. Do you think you'll have more money then or less money?
I'm not sure.
Well, there's no way to tell, is there? Money is money, comes and goes. And the likelihood is you're going to spend this money anyway, right? Leaky roof, holiday, etc., right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend it anyway, would it not make sense to spend it on something that you're certain is going to get results?
Yeah, it would, you're right.
Yeah, I like most of it, but I don't like the second part. I already have that.
We do go in deep on that second thing. Hypothetically though, if we didn't cover that at all, or we spent more time on something that's more valuable to you, does this solution all make sense? You know, you move ahead?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Well, let me shift focus for a second then, because whilst I do cover ABC as part of the service, you also mentioned that you wanted to solve 1, 2, 3. And as part of the service, I also focus on 1, 2, 3 in detail, alongside some other things as well. So what this means is we decrease the time that we spend on the thing you don't want to spend time on, and we spend more time on 1, 2, 3, which means you get double the time spent on the priority, which ultimately means we're going to solve the problem faster. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whoa, wait there. I've just put together an insane objection handling tool for my clients that I'm giving away for free to a limited number of people. I will take it offline at some point when I can be bothered. But all you have to do is click the link under this video, put your email address in on the landing page, and it will send across a full guide to every single objection. Every single objection you can think of. You click the little arrow next to it and it will bring up a scripted response. If you want it, grab it quick. The link is below.
It does sound like it'll work. I just really wanted more one-to-ones included.
I've had a lot of people say that actually. Valid point. If we were to include one-to-ones or more one-to-ones, would that tick all the boxes for you?
Yeah, it would, definitely.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why is it you think you need more one-to-ones? I'm guessing it's because you think that's going to help you achieve a better offer or a better content strategy, right?
Yeah.
What I've found is having more one-to-ones can actually slow things down. You only get my eyes on your approach and your strategy then, rather than having the whole team and also our other clients who've invested the same amount. Hopefully you can see that the deliverable, whether it's one-to-one, whether it's group, whatever it is, isn't actually the most important thing here. It's surely more important that we get the results, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You've seen the results that I've helped clients get already. While some of them did actually think they needed one-to-ones, none of them did when we took them through the group and the team-focused approach. With that in mind, does that make you feel a bit more certain, that other people have come from where you are with the same sort of expectations but have managed to achieve some of those results?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work for me.
I've had a few people say similar things to me at the start, so I kind of feel why you might think that. Let me ask though, what specifically makes you think that this won't work or that you can't do it?
I just don't think I can do it.
Can I give you a different lens to view this through? The reason that you're telling yourself that you can't do it is the exact reason why you should. You said you wanted to do this for the last 5 years, but the fear of taking the leap has actually held you back. Do you really want to accept defeat when you've come this far? Because I've seen people in the past avoid the decision, they just hope that life will make it for them, when in reality, what they're doing is making a decision of no. No is still a decision. How does that sit with you? You mentioned you're an action taker, right?
Yeah.
Of course you are. You said it yourself earlier, so let's make today the day where we decide to change things. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
It does sound really good, but someone else I had a call with is much cheaper.
Okay. To be fair, there are lots of cheaper options out there, and I'm guessing you probably want as much bang for your buck as possible. Is it simply a matter of just finding the cheapest option out there?
Well, yeah, it does need to be cheap.
Well, let me ask you something. What's the real criteria for this project? Are you judging this solely on price, or are the results actually more important?
Well, obviously we want the results.
If all you want is a cheap cost, then you should probably go with that other person. But if you do want the results, then can you see how I'm likely to get you there, even though it will cost slightly more?
Yeah, that does make sense.
I'm sorry, I can't afford it right now.
Okay. I agree. It's not cheap. I mean, if it was only 20 quid, you'd probably be skeptical. Yeah, you probably wouldn't even believe that it worked, would you?
Yeah, that's right.
So hypothetically, if you had the money right now, would you do it?
Definitely.
Let me ask you a question then. Is affordability just a case of you not having all the money right now? I mean, have you got some of it?
Yeah, I've got some of it.
Okay. So let's either look at securing it for you with a deposit, or perhaps splitting the payments so it is more affordable for you. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good. What are the options for splitting the payments?
I really need to think about it for a bit.
Okay, it is a big decision. I've got to ask though, because I'm curious, what is it you need to think about? What is it specifically that's stopping you from jumping all over this?
I just need time to think.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
You've been making this decision for years. You've come this far. You're 6 inches from gold. You are so close to changing everything. And if you turn back now, do you really want to be in the same position in like 6, 12 months time?
No, I don't.
That's pretty obvious. So do you think perhaps then the reason that you have this problem is because you've sat on decisions like this and just failed to take action in the past?
Yeah, maybe.
So it doesn't make sense to delay again this time round, okay? You don't need time. What I think you need is more clarity and more information. So what is it that's not ultra clear for you?